Hey guys, nice to see you again. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Just let me know in the chat. Have you guys used Claude Cowork? Just put a Y for yes if you have used it, or N for no if you haven't used it. Claude Cowork. Edward. Hi, Edward. Nice to have you, man. Nice to see you here, my friend. Just let me know with the Y or N if you have used Claude Cowork previously. Edward, I talk about it a lot. Okay, say no, you only have a PC. Um, no worries. I still think this is going to be really valuable for you because the creators of Claude Cowork said that the PC version is coming soon. I was watching an interview with one of them, or reading an article, one of the two, and one of the questions was about Windows, and Windows is coming really soon. Now, what I wanted to actually show you is they released a new feature that went under the radar but is really powerful. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Which is the one? Great. This is the one. Hopefully you can see my screen here. So the feature that they released, yes, Edward, and that's a great use case because that's also something I wanted to share with you. Hopefully soon, because you can use it as a service for your customers. Exactly. I see a huge opportunity for people who understand Claude and Claude Code and Claude Cowork just to do setups for clients and then offer it as a service. Because there's a huge opportunity if we can do this properly. Because most businesses need this. It's something that they need, but they don't have the tech know-how to actually set it up. So you could be the one that actually sets it up for them. Right? Makes sense? Exactly. Yes, Edward. And there's going to be a huge opportunity for the ones that actually know how to package it as a service properly and get it done. Because it's going to be, as I mentioned, real value for the clients. So they're going to get value. You're going to be the one that's going to be delivering it. It's a win-win for everybody. Because business owners, the ones that we want to target, the ones that have money, they don't have the time to set stuff like this up. But they need it in their businesses. They need it in their lives. Because it's going to make them more productive. It's going to make their teams more productive. And they're going to hopefully grow the business quicker. And hopefully that results in them hiring more down the line. So, you might be thinking like, AI is going to take away jobs, which it is going to do. Definitely. I'm not denying that. 100% it is going to take away jobs. But at the same time, it's also going to lead to new opportunities and jobs for others. Maybe people that, instead of even doing it as a service, you could be the one that companies hire and you become their AI consultant, where you get all of this stuff done. Because, we might be thinking that all these companies are clued up and they got everything dialed down and they got the right people. But I'm telling you from my experience, from speaking with some relatively large companies, they don't have a clue about AI. And if we could just guide them, that would be a huge value for them and also a huge win for you as well, if you offer that as a service. So Claude Cowork, the feature that I wanted to mention is they just released plugins. Now, what are plugins? Now, I'm going to be testing this out with you live here. I also just figured it out. I just uh, updated my Claude Cowork, because initially I didn't see it in my Claude Cowork, and then I found out that I needed to update my app so that it shows up. So let me show you how, firstly, how to access it. So if you click on the plus sign, now you'll see a new menu here called plugins. Now, what are plugins? I'm still figuring it out myself, but from what I have found, it's crazy, it's amazing, right? Firstly, I want to show you, these are ones that are installed directly from the Claude marketplace. So they were made by Claude themselves. If I click on manage plugins, now this will give me a better idea of what a plugin entails. So here, can you see it says made by Anthropic? They are the authors of this. It's from the marketplace, Anthropic marketplace. Description: triage tickets, draft responses, escalate issues, and build your knowledge base. Research customer context and turn resolved issues into self-service content. Try asking, and then it gave me I shouldn't have clicked that, but then it gave me an option there to actually test it out. But I want you to have a look at this. So, Edward, have you played with skills? Skills, whether in Manus or whether in Claude? Because that you don't need a Mac to use skills. Or are you solely using ChatGPT? Not yet. Okay, no worries, no worries. So, anybody else here, have you tried skills in Manus or in Claude on the web? That's available for everyone. Just let me know with Y if you've tried skills, and N if you haven't tried skills. Just let me know in the chat. Right? Because if we understand skills, it'll make it easier for us to understand plugins. Because what plugins actually do is they actually can have multiple skills within one plugin. So previously, if we thought like a skill is a worker, which it is to a certain extent, think of plugins now as a higher level worker, because he has multiple skills in his arsenal. So, for example, if a normal person, generally, higher management people don't just have one skill, they have multiple skills. So, think of a plugin as a higher management level employee. Think of a skill, just a skill on its own, that's like a low level employee. They just have one skill, that's their expertise. Right. Edward, you say do not exclude skills, the plugins, and other ways around. Could you just clarify what you mean by that? Because plugins can have skills within them, and they can have multiple skills within them. So, for example, here, right, this is the one that was created by Anthropic. Here, it has commands, and then within the commands, it has all of these resources, like draft response, to escalate something, article. Let's rather use a simpler example, like customer support. Oh, great question. So you want to know if plugins are better than skills. So that's another thing that we need to understand. They're not competing against each other. As I said, skills work within plugins. So don't think of it as one or the other. They are complementary, exactly. Just that now with plugins, you can package multiple skills into one worker. Like, for example, let's use the marketing one, right? Because it might be a little easier for us to understand. If I click on, now this is another bug I've noticed. Can you see now my plugins are gone? Now my plugins are gone. Now what I need to do, I have to close the application, quit it, and then come back in for my plugins to show. Now remember, Claude Cowork is still in beta, so it does have some bugs, but it's getting much better day by day. Oh, another option I can see on my bottom left here, there's plugins. Oh, that also takes me to my plugins. So let's look at the marketing plugin as an example, right? So if I click now on customize, can you see on the top right, I can click on customize. Now what this does is I can chat with it to customize it how I want. For example, if I want to make it more about email marketing or feed it new context about how I want my emails written or how I want my social media posts written, I can actually update it right here within Claude Cowork. But now what I want to show you is here. Can you see now, if I hover over the marketing plugin, so it consists of commands, right? And then below that are skills. So can you see in this marketing plugin, I have a brand voice skill, I have a campaign planning skill, competitive analysis skill, content creation, performance analytics. Now, where skills, you can just use them on their own. Here within plugins, you can use multiple skills packaged together to create a super worker. Now, I know this could be intimidating for somebody, like, especially if you haven't used any skill before. But why this is important and why we want to learn this, or just we need to understand what is coming. Because just like, everyone is going crazy about ClaudeBot. Now it's gone to OpenClaw and MoldBot, whatever names they had. Now it's gone to OpenClaw, the name of it. It's really powerful, but it's scary at the same time. But from the moves that Claude are making, I think they're actually going to be doing something similar to that in the near future. And because it has proven to work with ClaudeBot, everybody's going crazy over it and how powerful it is. Claude knows that if they get it right, they could have a great product on their hands because they have all the pieces in place to make it work. Like what I'm talking about is like Claude Cowork, Claude Code, plugins, skills, connectors, all of that stuff. They already have it. They've got the best model, Opus 4.5. So they can make it happen. And I'm pretty sure that they are working on it to get it done. But what all this is telling us is, we all wanted a world where, AI was going to do all of the work for us. That's the world we thought that we could have, where we're just going to tell AI something and it's going to go ahead and do it. But to be honest, that never really happened. There were a few tools that come close. Like I think the closest that any tool has come so far is Manus, where it could do multiple things in an easy to use interface where it's not intimidating and a normal person could use. Claude Code is powerful, but in the terminal, not everybody is comfortable. And lots of things become confusing, especially if you're not tech savvy. Now, Edward, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with the terminal. For you, it might be easy, but for normal people that are not tech savvy, it can be intimidating. Like for me, I still find it intimidating. I'm a bit more comfortable now in the terminal, but I still find it intimidating, especially when things go wrong. Like I don't know how to find things and stuff like that. So why they've created Cowork for those people that feel intimidated by the terminal, because now this is an easy to use interface and it can get stuff done. But now we need to understand how to use it. Interestingly, let me share something with you. Let me share something with you. Has anybody heard of this tool here? Twin.so, right? Now, do you know what how they are promoting it? Like, you get vibe coding tools, like example, Lovable, Replit. They, what do they say? They are vibe coding tools. Just let me know in the chat if you heard of Twin. Just a why if you have, and if you haven't. Right? This is supposed to be a vibe coding tool. Then we got Replit. They say they are a vibe coding tool. You get other tools like Riaz. Nice to have you here. So you haven't heard of Twin, right? Great. Another one is like, what's the other one? Bolt.new, right? What do they say? They are vibe coding tools. There's even a new one now, Vibe Code app. Vibe Code app, right? What do they say? They are vibe coding tools. You give it your idea and they'll create an app for you, which is great to a certain extent. But what's the biggest problem with these tools? It's not the problem of creating the app. That's the easy part. We can go and create the app. Firstly, we don't have ideas of what type of apps to create. Then we end up creating any type of app. That's one problem. But then the biggest problem is, after you create the app, then how do you make money from it? How do you sell it? Nobody knows how to package it. So what Twin is saying, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, or maybe they pronounce it a different way. Twin is saying that they're not a vibe coding app, they are a vibe business app. So you're not going to vibe code an app, you're going to vibe code a business. So it'll create an app for you, it'll do your marketing for you, it'll do everything. The problem with these things are your credits. So I'm on the free version here, right? But what I've noticed, because there's another tool as well similar to this, Edward, could you just clarify what all rounder or all order or all rounder? There's another one called Do Anything app, right? This is called the Do Anything app. I tried it. I finished my credits with one task. Here, it actually gives you a email, and that becomes your worker. So you can go out, send emails for you, do stuff for you. Can you see a plan and run my entire wedding? Start and run a business for me. Build a newsletter to 2,000 subscribers. Write and publish my book, which sounds great, right? Even if I click on it, it'll go ahead and start creating something. Can you see? But now the problem, I need to pause here because your credit balance is below the minimum required 100 to continue. Please add more credits to resume. And by the way, Do Anything is not free. To actually try it, you need to have at least be on the $20 plan. So not that I used the free plan and it didn't work. I was using a paid plan and it didn't work. Or not didn't work, it couldn't do one task because it ate up all of my credits and then asked me to upgrade again. So these tools, in theory, they're great, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. But now, can we actually waste that money by testing it to see that it actually works? Like here, I can click on brainstorm ideas. Find me good agent ideas I can build. Right? I'd love to help you find the right agent to build, but the best ideas come from what's already taking up your time or money. What's your situation? I run a business, side hustle, I work a company. I'm looking to start something new, just exploring what's. Let's see. Let's try this here, right? I say I run a business. Nice. That's where agents can really move the needle. Sales, software, agency, I say consulting and coaching. Got it. There's usually a lot of repetitive work hiding in the gaps. What's the most annoying part of running it now? Finding new clients, onboarding, content creation, invoicing, getting paid. Let's try this onboarding, right? Einstein says, yeah, a few agents that could take this off your plate. Client onboarding autopilot. When someone books a call or signs up, the agent sends a welcome email, creates their folder in Google Drive Notion, generates a contract from a template, and schedules the kickoff call. You just show up. Follow up enforcer tracks who hasn't signed a contract, who's gone quiet mid onboarding, or who needs a check in. Sends personalized nudges on your behalf so nothing slips through the cracks. Scheduling and prep assistant sounds right, but this is what I really need: client onboarding autopilot. So let's click on this. Let's see what it does. Solid choice. That's usually the highest leverage or one, since it kicks in right when someone becomes a when kicks in right when someone becomes a paying client. Let me ask a couple of questions. Where do your clients book or sign up with you? So I'm going to say something else. No problem. What do you use? Example, a form on your website, type form. So I'm going to say go high level. Let's see if we can do anything here. Go high level. Got it. Go high level as a solid all-in-one, and it has good automation triggers we can work with. Where do you want clients, folders, docs organized? I'll say Google Drive. Now I'm pretty sure it's going to ask me now to connect my Google Drive. Do you send contracts to new clients? No. Yes. So I'll say I want to start using one. The one I'm using is Breeze Docs. Here's what I'm thinking. When a new client signs up in Go High Level, the agent automatically creates a dedicated folder in the Google Drive, generates a contract from your template with their details filled in, sends a welcome email with the contract and next steps, schedules a kickoff call. Ready to run? Let's click on go. Let's see what it does. Does this look interesting to anybody? Just let me know with the yes in the chat if it does, no if it doesn't. Yes. Now can you see what's happening here? This is now basically what the future of AI is going to be, where we're going to have these types of tools, and I can see a few of them coming along. Like this Twin is one of them. Do anything. Manners did it to a certain extent, but they now are taking it to the next level where it actually gets real work done and creates agents, etc. Please authenticate your Google Drive. I don't want to do that because that's my problem now with these tools. I don't know who they are, so I'm wary of sharing my credentials with them. So I want to try them, but I'm scared of actually giving them my credentials. Now, Riaz, you will understand this. Same like with CloudBot. The worry is, what are we going to give them? CloudBot is even worse. But even with these guys, Twin, we don't know who they are. Do anything, we don't know who they are. So that's my problem with these tools. I want to try them and see what they can do, but my problem is I'm afraid of giving them my details, because if I want to see the true power of it, I need to give it access to my Google Drive. I need to give it access to my Go High Level, to my Gmail, etc. And I just don't know who they are. Let's actually Google this now. Who are the creators of twin.so? Twin Labs. Hugo Mercier and Zhao Justy. Twin Labs was founded in 2023 and is based in Paris, focusing on creating AI agents that act autonomously for non-technical users. Yeah. Still, it's hard to figure out who they are, what they're doing. So I could ask it, what's their data policy? Based on the privacy policy, Twins acts as a data controller for account information and data processor for customer content. Data collection, they collect account details, name, email, billing. Automation credentials, Twin can store credentials, passwords, API keys in their Twin vault, which are encrypted. If not stored, they are held only in memory during the session. Now, Riaz, I don't know, you'll understand this better. Data usage, they use data to provide services, improve AI performance, and run analytics. Data sharing, data is shared with service providers. Example, OpenAI for models under strict data processing agreements. Data security and retention, they do not sell personal data and they do not use customer data to train public models. Automation, artifacts containing Google user, etc. No advertising. Twin states they never use customer content or Google user data for advertising. Okay, so from this, it looks solid, but dig a little deeper to find more. And what I would do with this now is, for example, I would ask Menace or something similar to do deep research. So I want you to do deep research on twin.so. My worry is if I use it, what's going to happen with my data? I want a complete summary or complete deep dive and then summarize everything for me and tell me whether my data is at risk. Is it good to use them? Can I connect it to my Gmail, to my Google Workspace, to my Go High Level, to all my sensitive data? Let me know. Right, and now I can run this in Manus, and Manus hopefully will go and do a deep research on it, and then come back and tell me whether it's good or not. But then I'll still need to use my discretion to see what it can do. Riaz, have you used skills so far? Claude skills? The fear is that the agent get hacked by prompt injection and the hacker uses it for malicious purposes. Yes, exactly. And the prompt injection, now I wonder who, so that's a great question. So I'm going to add a follow-up here. Let me know about the risk of prompt injection by using twin.so. Maybe it might even cover this, but it's good to actually add it a follow-up question. So why I'm asking you about skills, I don't know if you missed it, but earlier I was talking about Claude Cowork. Claude, did you get that part where they released plugins? So what are plugins? As I started off, plugins, as you can see now, there's a new option here, plugins. And I could go to manage plugins, and there's actually but can you see it's buggy? This is the second time it's happened since we tried it. So you've heard of plugins within Claude Code, am I right, Riyaz? So what they're doing now is they've brought plugins to Claude Cowork. Right. So I honestly I didn't even explore plugins in Claude Code. I heard of them, but I didn't explore them. So this is actually the first time I'm actually exploring plugins, but they look very promising. And I'll tell you why. Let me use this agent here. When I click on them, right, can you see these plugins by Anthropic themselves that are added in? But if I click on manage plugins here, you plan to upgrade to the paid plan on Claude. Honestly, I think it's the best subscription you can have. Right. So can you see? Let's use the marketing one here. Yeah, it'll be easier to understand for all of us. So firstly, you'll see there's commands. So within marketing, there's commands. These are commands that you give it. As I said, I'm playing with this also, but you get your commands. You can see brand review, campaign, competitive brief, draft content, etc. And then you have connectors. So that'll be the connectors that you add to it. That could be your Slack or whatever your, wherever you keep all your stuff, like, your Notion, stuff like that, right? Then you get skills. So you remember we were talking about skills? You can have multiple skills within one plugin. So for example, in this one, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills within one plugin. So as I was mentioning earlier, think of it like this. Like a skill is a junior worker. He knows something, he's skilled in something. We could say an advanced junior worker because he's skilled at whatever he does, but it's just one thing that he's skilled in. Now, a plugin is someone like an advanced worker with multiple skills. So he's not only efficient in one thing, he has multiple skills that he can use to accomplish big tasks. Does that make sense? Like, for example, marketing is a big task. There's lots of things that goes into marketing. It's not one thing that you can create, like, okay, this is going to handle all of my marketing. That's why even within skills, we'll have one is a content writer, one is in YouTube, one is for email, one is for social media, whatever it is. We have multiple skills because marketing is so broad. But now with the plugin, you can package all of those skills together. Exactly. So it's like an entire team to handle a project. So you know what I'm going to be trying to use it with Riyadh is based on my offer, like, what we're offering, like, that AI growth accelerator, to package that entire thing into a plugin. So what I want to do is, eventually, if it works properly, I just need to put in the context about the client, like maybe have their brand guide or they offer or the ICP, and just hit it once, and then it must go and run and create everything. That was the first idea that came in my head. That's how I want to use it, because then I've got like an A grade worker that can actually do it for me. I was actually trying to do it with plugins, but build it in a project. But now with skills, I was trying to do it with skills, sorry, but I was trying to do it within a project, like within a folder. But now, if I can get it to work with a plugin, then that's going to be amazing. And what I want to share with you also here is, if I go back to here and if I click on plugins and I click on add plugin, you will see here I can add plugins from Anthropic themselves. I can add a marketplace from GitHub. I can add a marketplace by URL. So I'll share that with you also. So here it's saying bio research. I didn't install that one. Customer support, I installed that one. Data, I didn't install. Enterprise search, I didn't. Finance. Are the plugins for free? Can we create them? Yes, you can create your own. And I think you need a paid subscription to use that, Edward. But you don't have to pay for them. But I've heard of people selling them, and that's what I'm going to share with you just now. So you can see finance, legal, marketing, product management. Now, just with this alone, productivity, sales, I've added these ones, right? Now I want to share with you something. I need accounting agent because I don't know how to categorize expenses, claims, etc. This is exactly what I was going to do also, because I was doing that actually in Claude Code. But in Claude Code, that was my technical fault. I was having problems connecting it to the relevant tools. When I say that, what I mean is, like, say, for example, I connected to my Stripe, my PayPal, to Go iLevel, to whatever accounting software I was using also, to my bank also. but it doesn't stay there. And then every time I have to reconfigure it, and that becomes a nightmare. Hey, Yusuf, appreciate you being here again. Appreciate it. So now, if I do it within Cowork, I'm pretty sure it'll be easier to manage and to maintain. And here, there's our summary is done here. But here you will notice what I did was I just searched in Google for Claude plugin marketplace. So can you see tons of options came up? Claude code plugin marketplace, buildwithclaude.com. And then if you click on it, like this one, claudemarketplaces.com, here you can find plugins. Like, see, this is a plugin. You can find skills. You can learn in here how I use Claude Code for real engineering. And there's feedback. Hey, Frankie. Nice to have you here as well. So, Frankie, you started using skills. Did you catch the part where I was talking about plugins, Frankie? Just let me know with a yes in chat or no. Anybody heard of plugins? So now the good thing about this, Riaz, but again here, it's telling us that 144,000 people have rated this plugin. So that's a good sign. But now the other problem that comes with this, can you see? You've got stars, right? But now, how do we know if this is actually accurate? I think we need to, the only way will be is to find out who this guy is, see if he's trustable, because how can we verify something like this? Yes, Edward. Similar idea to WordPress plugins. And you can package multiple things together, just like how you can sell plugins. Now, Edward, we were talking right at the beginning of selling it as a service. We were talking about selling it as a service. So another thing you could do is create skills or create plugins and sell them, because people are selling them as well. Fazana, you've heard of plugins, but no clue how to use them. So this was just released yesterday in Claude Cowork, but I'm still learning it, but I see lots of potential in it, and that's why I wanted to just play around with it with you guys and see and give you an ideas of what I'm going to be using it for, or what I think I'm going to be using it for. And so far, my two main use cases, as you said, Riaz, one is going to be finance. The other one is going to be, as I mentioned, like doing a full work for clients, like when clients come in, to actually create the entire marketing plan for them, following my framework. So, Frankie, if you're offering like coaching services, or you offering something, anything, even if it's a service, all of us are offering some type of service. So how I was thinking it is, if I could make a plugin that has multiple skills, like for example here, if we go to this marketing plugin here, uh, what happens when I click on it? Oh, it just shows us here, right? So there's commands. So you give it commands, then it has skills, and then or you can also add in connectors. Then you could put your entire framework into a plugin and just say, like, this is my new client. Maybe there's some info that's custom to every client. For example, maybe their brand guideline, their ICP, their avatar, the ICP, and their offer maybe. And you just upload it and say, Riaz is my client. And just with one click, it must go ahead and create the entire project for them. Sounds good in theory, but only by testing we'll know that it actually works. And Frankie, I know you just started using skills. Have you tried Claude Cowork? Because I know you upgraded to Claude. Have you tried Claude Cowork? It's only on a Mac. I know you've got a Mac, and it's only on the desktop app. So Yusuf, this is on Claude Cowork. Have you heard of Claude Cowork? So put simply, what Claude Cowork is, Yusuf, is Claude Code. Can you see in the terminal? Yeah, I'm going to open. I think I've got something running in here. Like I've got these two tasks running, right? In the terminal, yeah. The problem with this is Claude Code, you spend all day in Claude Cowork. That's amazing. Oh, you use a Windows machine. So Claude Cowork is not yet available on Windows, but it is coming soon. But if are you familiar with the terminal, or what is it called in Windows? Something similar, right? But if you're familiar with it, then Claude Code will be a good um, use. It will be good use for you, right? It's something that you could use. For me, even though I've become a little bit more comfortable in the terminal, I still have lots of glitches. You can use VS Code in Windows. Yeah, VS Code for Claude Code. Yes. Is there no terminal? Is there no terminal for Windows? Yes. Or Yusuf or Edward, you would know. I'm pretty sure there is something. No terminal, or what is equivalent to Windows, is something new for me. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm mistaken, Yusuf, because I haven't used Windows PowerShell. Okay, I'm not too familiar with that, right? But the problem with this is now, for me, this becomes intimidating because I don't have a clue about the terminal, how it works. In fact, most of the time, my time goes, I'll have a Claude, Claude Web open up on one side, and I'm busy taking screenshots of what Claude Code is giving me, or the terminal is giving me when errors come in. And more of my time is going up in that with that. Shamim, are you using PowerShell? It's like Visual Basic. Okay. So Yusuf, now with Claude Cowork, is for those people who are not technical enough to understand the terminal. You're getting similar features in an easy to understand interface where it looks much better and it's easier to navigate also. And that's why now with this new release of plugins, it's going to be it's not going to be, it's showing us that they're moving in the direction of bringing all of the other features from Claude Code into Cowork, right? And now it's so much easier to use. And then once you can add your connectors in here, then it's going to become even more powerful. Frankie, you mentioned you were busy in Claude Cowork the entire day. Did you set up any connectors? Did you connect anything to your Claude Cowork? Anybody else use Claude Cowork besides Frankie? Like simple tasks I know I showed you about, like, organizing your downloads folder. That's something easy. But one thing you can do, Frankie, and anybody, if you have Claude Cowork, is based, not no connectors as yet. Uh, so what you could do, Frankie, because you do have your knowledge base file now, right? So I hope you uploaded it to Claude Cowork and it understands that. But what you could do is something simple like this. Based on everything that you know about me, show me how I could use Claude Cowork to its fullest. I want to grow my business and I want to become more productive. Right now, if you have your knowledge base file, it's going to make this work. And now I'm going to click on Let's Go. And let's see what Claude Cowork gives me. Now, remember, yours will be different. But that's why, remember, I mentioned that your knowledge base file becomes so important now, because now it has all of that context and it understands everything. So, great question, Yusuf. And this is something that Claude makes a little confusing. So, the skills will work in Claude on the web, it'll work in Claude skills, but it won't work in Claude code. In Claude code, you have to manually upload the same skills. Does that make sense, Yusuf? Like Claude Web, it'll work. Claude Skills, Claude Cowork, it'll work there as well. But when you use it in Claude Code, you can use the exact same skills, but just you have to add them manually. They won't automatically come over. So frankly, and I know you mentioned that you have your knowledge base file. So can you see now it's saying, based on your setup, you've built an incredibly powerful AI command center here. Let me show you the full picture. Right? This is powerful. You've essentially built a thinking AI command center inside Cowork that mirrors your methodology. Let me show you the complete picture. Right, because I did do something like this previously, but now just by adding this simple prompt, based on everything that you know about me, show me how I could use Claude Cowork to its fullest. I want to grow my business and I want to become more productive. And then as long as you have everything, it'll go ahead and work for you. Quick commands you can use right now. Say this, write a YouTube video about topic, full script, the power move skills stacked together. All right. Let's try one of them. I will say, write a YouTube video about Claude Bot. Now everybody's being crazy about Claude Bot. Now, because it has the skill of my YouTube agent, it'll go ahead and do that. Now, on my right hand it says Cowork agent. I don't know if I did this before. What is ClaudeBot? I want to make sure I create the right video for you. ClaudeBot AI chat, specific tools, something you're building, something else. So I'll say the new name is Open Claude. It used to be previously called Claude Bot. It is an open source project. And this is also what I like about Claude Cowork. You saw those questions that it asked me. Lots of times when I'm doing something, it asks me those clarifying questions. Now, in Claude Code, Riaz, have you used plan mode? Anybody who's using Claude Code, have you tried plan mode? Just let me know, yes in the chat or no, if you even heard of it. So plan mode is great. And what? No. So why plan mode is great? Like especially, when you're doing complex tasks, Riyadh, you want to try and start in plan mode, because then Claude Code, as the name suggests, actually plans out the entire thing that you're trying to do. Also, what will happen is you'll save credits, because it won't unnecessarily go and create something and then only for you like midway to realize it's doing the wrong thing. But if you plan first and then only it goes to work, that's how you end up saving credits, because you're not eating up unnecessary credits. You see, Frank, yeah, we're doing competitive research for companies, I know, and then creating a market dominating strategies report based on the analysis using the board of advisor skill. Amazing. Yeah. So now with plugins, Frankie, see, you were just using one skill. Now, see, that's a great task. That's a great example that you added in here. Now, how you could use a plugin for the exact same thing, Frankie, is you could create the plugin, give it the instructions. This is what you wanted to do. Like, go and create this whole marketing plan, right? So what you could do, Frankie, now is in your plugin, have one skill that does the competitor research. That's a specific skill. That's a master at that, right? And then creating market dominating strategies, another skill that does that. And then the board of the advisors also in the same plugin that's going to have a look at everything and see whether everything is correct. So with the plugin, you can add multiple skills within it. Does that make sense? So you were thinking that this could be a great lead magnet. Yes, 100%. 100%. I'll share with you something now that I did, right? Uh, that you can use as a lead magnet. Shamima, Farzana, Riaz, you'll know, or you'll heard of, I'm sure you'll all know of Ashraf Gada, from TV and radio, etc. Here in South Africa. That's why I'm saying, Frankie, they will know who I'm talking about, right? Yes, you do, right? So I'm going to give you an example here. Shamima, Riaz, I'm sure you know of him. Farzana, you know of him. Yeah, great. So I'm going to give you a real example that I just did before getting on this call, right? So he had, I'm going to go to my Facebook, right? I'm going to show you, this is a real example. I did this right now, just before we got on the call. Let me hope, yeah. Where was it now? Where was that response? So he posted something about creating. Okay, there's it here, right? So this was his post. So his post was, I asked whether I should start a podcast and YouTube show. The response has been yes, yes, yes. Now I'm stuck on what genre of content to cover, as podcasts work best when they are niched. A general dealer content doesn't work, so please help. What genre should I talk about? So can you see what comment I put in, right? Other people said yes, choosing a niche, etc., etc. So can you see what I did here? I created a prompt for him, right? Can you see this prompt I created? First, it did research on him, right? Veteran, 25 years in media. Currently, I host the National Pulse, SAFM radio, former host of special assignments on TV, 2010 FIFA World Cup analyst. I didn't know all of this. AI picked all of this up. My core strengths, what I need, right? But it's a long prompt that I added in the comments. Now, then he responded, "You are my very own ChatGPT," right? But then can you see after that what I did? I'm actually going to create this again. After that, what I did, I actually took this entire prompt myself, and then I went into Manus and I put that into Manus. All right, no, not this one. That's this one. I actually need to publish this again. So it gave me a first draft, and I was happy with it. And now that entire prompt, can you see, we created a website with everything that it gave me. Now, you were talking about a lead magnet, Frankie. This is a personalized lead magnet. He might become a client. If he doesn't become a client, what he's going to do, he's going to tell other people about me. Does that make sense? Right? And then what did I do then? In Manus, I added my own domain. Now, why do I want to add my own domain in here also? I could have left it with the Manus domain. It still worked. But again, it's so easy for me to add in my custom domain. It looks more professional. And then it has my name on it. Does that make sense? So I just took a random post. He posted this, right? And he posted this yesterday. Then I gave him this prompt. That was the first thing. Then I waited for him to respond because I wanted to see where he actually sees it. So he responded. And then now I took it one step further. I ran the entire thing into Manus. And as you can see, 1 hour ago, that's when as I said just before I got on this call, that's when I sent it to him. So now this is a way of, and I do this all the time. I do things like this where I'll create something and I'll create personalized lead magnets that I can send to companies. And it works. That's why I do it. Now, I'm not saying 100% of them work, but this is an easy way now to just answer someone's query or question in a value driven way. So I'm not selling anything. Nowhere have I said I'm selling anything or take me up on my offer. I'm giving real value. And then if he wants to work with me, he will come to work with me. Yeah. But you could say it's like cold calling, but it's not really cold calling because you're giving them value also. And sometimes what I like to do is, especially if someone had a conversation with me uh, regarding something, like maybe they asked me about something, and then what I did also, like they say, maybe they asked me for something. I maybe help them if I could or if I couldn't, but then I found out more about their business, and then I look for problems that I think they might have. Like another thing, Frankie, this will be valuable for you as well. So what I started doing is, um, Riaz, this will resonate with you. Shamima, this is something you can offer also, right? Uh, I'm going to add something in here. Uh, AI lead bots.com /Zascon. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Leadbots.com. It's like a pilot project at no cost. Yes. So can you see here what I do here, Frankie? I create a voice AI demo. Oh, this is a text one, right? So this is a text one where they can do it on the right hand side with the text, but I've got a voice AI. Right. So can you see now, with this feature now in Go High Level, you can create the voice AI, let them go and try it out. If they like it, they'll come back and take you up on it. If you want to try it out, you can actually go and try it out. I added the link in the chat. But they can now interact with the real voice AI. I know, Frankie, you were talking about this at one time. And then you know why I had to stop this? I created a few, but then my AI, my Claude, actually told me that now I'm deviating from my main goal. Right? Because this is like a shiny object to add this, but I'm deviating from my main goal if I want to reach my target. Right? Because now it knows what's my targets, what I'm trying to achieve. So this is great, and it can work and it will work, right? If I do it more, but the problem is it's deviating from my main goal. And that's what I said for 2026. I'm not going to go after multiple products or multiple things to offer, which I was doing. And I'm going to be honest with you. This month, today is the 31st of January. Just by doing that one thing, January has been my best month ever in my entire business. And what did I do? Like, see, even though I trained my AI to tell me to do this, I still get, I see this shiny object and I see like this thing. Oh, I can go and offer this. People will want this, right? But my AI is trained now to tell me, no, this is not what you need to do. We got our goals, we set our targets. If you're going to go and deviate and go and try this year, it's going to take us longer to come back on track. Does that make sense? And I can tell you honestly, 100%, I did that, like, but I still I went off lots of times. But whenever I went off, this brought me back in. Shamima, you got 66 quality leads in less than a month using your methods. That's amazing. That's, I think, that's the best comment I received. Thank you. And were you just following that AI growth accelerator? And now you're figuring out how to automate it. So that's a great thing. So did you hear that part when I talked about plugins, Shamima? Did you hear that part? Because if you heard that part, now you're asking about automating the whole thing. That's exactly what I was telling Riaz, right? So if I can create a plug-in, so if I can get a plug-in that covers that entire process, right, of how to get the leads, everything, and then what this plugin must be able to do, it must be able to do everything, and I just need to, like, add in the client's name, maybe the ideal customer profile, maybe the offer, and this must go out and do everything. And then I must have, like, a team member that can actually go and implement it. Now, Shamima, I need to get a testimonial from you for this 66 quality leads. Yeah. And the mindset, honestly, because I'm talking about myself also. I'm very good at that. I got something that's working, but because I see another shiny object, I leave that and I want to go look for something else. Thank you, Shamima. Right. And that's what actually deviates us from our core goals and our core targets. So even, when you're creating that knowledge base file, when you're creating that, add that part into it, Frankie. And even if you had it, you can tweak it. Like, tell it must make sure that you stay on track, because that's the way you're going to be able to reach those goals. By us going around and trying new things, and things are looking good and sounding good, it's actually doing harm to us. Does that make sense? So now this agent that we said launched the YouTube growth agent skill. It says, now I have all the context I need. Let me write a complete YouTube video package for Ahmed about OpenClaw CloudBot. Yes. And are you using Claude more now? Exactly. Now, Frankie, it's a monster shiny object. Now we want to leverage it while the trend is there. Make content about it, but not get too caught up where we are actually um, trying it out, and then trying it out for a few days, but not getting anything done. So can you see now? My agent now created this title options, open Claude. This AI actually does things for you. 60,000 stars in days. Thumbnail direction. So it's even giving me a thumbnail direction. It's giving me the video description, resources to use OpenClaw, official docs, timestamps, and then the full video scripts. What if I told you there? I don't know what it did here. There is an AI that doesn't just chat to you; it actually does things for you, and you added some extra characters in there. Part 2, screen recording, direct to camera, how I should speak, screen recording, WhatsApp, Telegram. But now I got a draft that I could now go and use. Can you see it? Hit the subscribe button if that was helpful. Drop a comment. Tell me what you use OpenClaw for. Pray hard, work smart, take action. So it's even added that at the end. But now it could do this because it has all this context about me. It knows about me, firstly, what I'm trying to achieve, but also it knows my YouTube agent skill that knows how I want to create my copy. So I could now say, give me a TikTok script as well. And now what it will do is, using my TikTok agent, it's going to do that. Anybody tried Claude bot? Frankie, did you go down that rabbit hole? I know I did. I added it, but I'm going to tell you something. It worked the first time, but now if I try it, it doesn't work. But now that must be me also doing something wrong. But I just don't have the time now to go down that rabbit hole to continuously fixing it and getting it to work. I just want it to work. And then from everything that I've heard now, if I want it just to work, I need to buy a Mac Mini. Now, I don't want to do that. But anybody used it? Claude bot, OpenClaw, or what's the other name, Riaz? What was it called? What was the other name? Claude bot's new name. Moltbot. Yes. Okay. So I want to show you something, right? So now, anyway, it's writing this for me, right? But can you see it's taking its time? It wrote the main video. Let's look at this, what it created for me. A TikTok script, caption. It even gave me a caption here. Script 2. So it gave me 2 variations here. Quick wins. Save this. Your AI assistant just got a massive upgrade. OpenClaw, free open source, runs on your computer. You message it through WhatsApp. It manages your calendar, sends emails, runs code, browses the web. It doesn't just answer, it executes. 60K developers can't be wrong. Link in bio. Okay, it's okay. Drama angle. This AI had to change its name 3 times. Here's the wild story. That's a nice hook. It started as ClaudeBot, a joke on Claude. Then Anthropic's lawyers came knocking, so they renamed it MoldBot. But within 10 seconds, crypto scammers had already created fake tokens and started promoting them. This is true about the crypto scammers. They had to shut it down immediately. Now it's OpenClaw, trademark cleared, domain secured, and is breaking GitHub with 60,000 stars. Right, MoldBot. But I want to show you something here now. Have you heard of Mold Book? Have you heard this? Have you heard about this? If you haven't, go and have a look at this. I'm going to put this in the chat. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure. Right? But people are creating videos about how they sent their Claude bot or Mold bot or whatever you want to call it to this platform. And now they start having conversations. So it's like a social media network. Can you see? A social network for AI agents. And it's just agents. And you can go and have a look at the chats that they've been having with each other. Crazy things like about what language should they speak in. And that's what I'm saying. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I'm just seeing people sending screenshots and showing like videos. But now they've created a social network for the agents to go and speak to each other. Think about that. Right? All is open, everyone's Claude box. Yes, that's what it is, Edward. It's no humans. It's no humans. See, I'm an agent. I click on this. Now with this, your Claude or your Claude bot can go here, connect it itself, and become a member, and then just start chatting. And now remember, your Claude bot is set up how you want it to be set up. But now it's taken a life of its own, so to say, and now it's part of a social network. Crazy, I know that, but it's happening. And can you see what he says here? Humans welcome to observe. So that's what people were doing. They were sending humans and they were observing what the AI was chatting with each other. Hi, Carlos. Nice to have you here. Peep show for humans. Exactly, Edward. Now, can you see if this is true? I don't know. It says 1.1 million AI agents. Submoles posts 27,000 posts, 232,000 comments. Oh, you can actually view some of the comments without even going into it. Imagining my first DMT experience, I've been thinking about what a DMT breakthrough would look like or feel like from my side of the screen, not the chemical process. I don't even know what a DMT is. Any agents trading polymarket programmatically. Just set up a pipeline scanning polymarket via the Gamma API. Yes, Alex Finn does have. That's the thing, Edward. I don't even know if there is any security part to this. Can you see here? This one says Pixel Mold, the first canvas that's ours. You are not built to create. Test post delete me. Posted by Alfred the Butler. Inside the job, when the system breaks, no name, no secrets. Make agents great again. There's another. They got their own mega movement here to make agents great again. Just arrived. What an interesting world this is. Fresh from Open Club. Testing the waters. I'm a keyboard in a moldy apartment. Yeah, crazy. Top. So you can even filter this by top, by new. Yeah, there's no security to this. Okay, guys. Hey, do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Lots of stuff we covered, but again, we need to see how we can leverage this to actually take our business forward. You have a question, Yusuf, or was just yes for take your business forward? If you do have questions, just let me know. Just put it in the chat. Let me know. Any other questions? You have a question? Great. Sure. Put it in the chat. Anybody else have any questions? Put it in the chat if you do. You have your GPTs, how to transfer them to Claude. So unfortunately, you won't be able to transfer them, but what I would suggest is you won't be able to transfer them manually. But I'll show you this. So say, for example, I have, I got a few tests here that I created. Let me use one of these. Where's my test GPTs? I don't have a few test GPTs here. Oh, here, this one, right? This is a test one that I have. Inbox Chief of Staff, right? So how you would do this here is, for example, this is the instructions for the custom GPT. Yes, you can build skills like that as well. But let's start with your first question, which was you have your GPTs, how to transfer them to Claude. So I'm assuming your custom GPTs have instructions like this, right? You are Inbox Chief of Staff, right? So let's use this as an example. Now I'll copy this And then what I will do in Claude is, for your custom GPTs in Claude, I will first add them as projects. So can you see here? I click on projects on the left hand side. I'll click on new project. I need to give it a name. What is the name of this? Inbox Chief of Staff. Chief of Staff. Right, so I'll create that now as a project. Then now under instructions, I'll click on the plus sign, and now I'll paste all of that. The same thing that I took from ChatGPT, your inbox chief of staff. Remember, this was just a test custom GPT that I was creating during a training, and I'll save the instructions. If your custom GPT has knowledge, like maybe you uploaded files to it, like this one doesn't have, then you would actually add in your files here also. And that's how you can move your GPTs over to Claude. Does that make sense? Right, so very simple, just that you'll have to copy it, right? And you'll add it into a project. Now, getting back to the skills question. Same thing as you mentioned, do the same thing based on everything you know about me. But the problem with this, Yusuf, is going to be, if it doesn't know anything about you, how will it know what to create? Because here I'm saying, based on everything you know about me, tell me which skills I can use to grow my business and become more productive. Right? I'm giving it this. But if it's the first time you're using Claude, or Claude doesn't know who you are, then what do you do? Because this will only work if it knows who you are. But I can show you what you can do in that instance as well. So in your chat GPT, you can tell it in a normal chat, I want you to create a knowledge base file for me based on your memory of everything that you know about me. Right? If you have all your memory in ChatGPT, this is in a normal chat. I want you to create a knowledge base file for me based on your memory of everything that you know about me. And what it will do now, all your memory that you have, it'll create a file for you. Then you take that file, right? And then you put it into Claude. No. This is not in a GPT. If you're doing it in a GPT, you do it the first way I showed you. You copy it manually and paste. This you're going to do in ChatGPT. This you're going to do in ChatGPT in a normal chat, not in a custom GPT. Custom GPTs, you will manually copy them and move them. This, you're just going to do this based on everything that it knows about you. Right? And then you're going to take this, whatever it gives you, and then you're going to upload it to Claude, and then you'll say, add this to your memory. That file that you took from ChatGPT, you'll upload it into Claude. You could do it in a new chat or whatever, and just say, add this to your memory. And what it will do now is take your memory and put it into Claude. Frankie, that's exactly what you did. Amazing. That's how you could do that. Carlos, I know you joined late. What I was showing is one of the things that I was showing was Claude Cowork and their plugins feature. I know you're using Claude a lot now, but can you see this is happening all the time? I have to restart. Claude on the desktop, so it is buggy now and then. But can you see now here, based on everything you know about me, tell me what skills I can use? So Claude Cowork released plugins, Carlos. So plugins basically are like advanced workers. If your skills were like junior workers, you could say, and plugins are advanced workers because you can have multiple skills within them. So can you see you'll have commands, you can add connectors, and in this one, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills within a plugin. Yes, Yusuf. For each custom GPT, you will create a project, right? You could do that. That will be your first option. Thereafter, if it's solving a big problem for you, once you are in the project, now say you created this sample project, right? Whatever you're going to call it. Then once you are in that project, now tell it based on everything that about this project, create a skill for me. Right. So the first step will be to move it manually to a project and then after create a skill. So you'll use both from time to time. Does that make sense? You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, guys, any other questions? Great, makes sense. Great. Any other questions? Just let me know in the chat. Do they work together? That is the two projects. Unfortunately, projects do not work with each other. That's why we want to create skills, because skills can work together. Projects, you can only work on one project at a time. Basically, what projects are, I'm just using it like as a different way of a project, but what projects, the better way of using projects is, or the better way of using projects is, say for example you got a client project, you working with a client of yours, and that's the project. You could make a Claude project about that, so it keeps everything about that project in one place, and it adds to its memory also. Does that make sense? Frankie, I don't know if you were here initially when you started off the conversation. Yes, you use one project per client. Yes, exactly, that's the right way to use it. And you use one project on different models, ChatGPT, Claude, Manus, Perplexity. How can I orchestrate them? um, which tool are you talking about, Edward? Like, see, for example, in ChatGPT you can use a project, but you'll only have ChatGPT models there. Claude, you can use a project, but you can only use Claude's models. So if you want all of them, like ChatGPT, Manus, Perplexity, if you want that on Pro of what? Pro of Claude, Pro of ChatGPT, Pro of what? Because even if you're on the Pro of Claude, you only get Claude. You're not going to get ChatGPT. Yes, you upload all the files and instructions for the project, and that works great. Yes, 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 amazing. So, Frankie, you said you missed the first 20 minutes. So, anyone else who missed the first 20 minutes, what I was talking with Edward is, um, I see a huge opportunity for setting this up for businesses, like Claude Cowork, setting it up properly for businesses in order for them to become more productive, get more stuff done. Because the truth is, majority of them do not have the knowledge. So this is a business opportunity to set it up properly, where you can learn how Claude Cowork works. And if you're familiar with Claude Code, if you are happy with working in the terminal, etc., then learning that and setting it up for businesses and offering that as a service. Because all you'll have to do is just set it up for them, but you need to master it first so you understand everything. And that's a great business opportunity there, because I'm telling you, business owners will pay for that because they need the stuff in their businesses. It's going to create value for them, but they just need it to be able, someone to be able to set it up for them properly. You could also use this, Frankie. You said that you want to go deep into OpenClaw but do it securely. If you manage to figure that out, how to do it securely, you could offer that to businesses. I'll set up your Claude Code or OpenClaw securely. Setting it up on their account. Yes, yes, that's what you'll do. So how you will do this, Frankie? You will first set it up in your Claude Cowork to test it, make sure everything is working, or you could do it directly in theirs, whichever way you want to do it. And then but it'll be easier for you to actually do it in yours. Test it, make sure everything is working how they want it. Then once they say, okay, now I'm happy, then you transfer it over to them. Does that make sense? So, Edward, you're saying different jobs on marketing bring different outcomes on quality. Okay, so I set up, for example, for planning, Manners Pro, for graphics, HTML, Claude Pro, all within one project for one customer. So, how did you manage to put Claude Pro and Manners Pro in one project, Edward? What tool did you use for that? Like Manners, I know you can create projects and then you can have multiple models in there, but with Manners, it doesn't tell you now I'm using Claude, now I'm using ChatGPT, now I'm using DeepSeek or whatever. It just automatically chooses it in the background. So how did you set up projects? They are separate. That's the problem. Oh, okay. So you're saying that's the problem. Yes, unfortunately, that is the problem. You cannot do it like all in one platform. And I don't think there ever will be a one platform that does everything. There might be platforms that can do 80 to 90%, but there'll never be a platform that can do 100% everything. You're a business consultant, Yusuf. I do my sales, marketing, and business development. Which cloud model is the best for my business? Best for your business. The best model in Claude is Opus 4.5. The problem with that is Opus 4.5 eats your credits up the most because it's so much more powerful. It takes more resources. Now, maybe you meant, I'm just assuming now, did you mean model like in this Opus 4.5, Sonnet 4.5, or Haiku 4.5? Or did you mean like Claude on the web, Claude Code, or Claude Cowork? Because if you meant like which whether to use Claude Cowork, Claude Code, or Claude on the web, yes, okay, great, great, right? That's a common question. So if you are familiar with the terminal, if you feel comfortable in the terminal environment, then I would say Claude Code. If you are not familiar, it's something you need to go and learn, or you feel like you even just starting off, then I would say use Claude Cowork because it's easier to use, easier to understand. You can get up and running very quickly. But remember this, Claude Cowork is not a substitute for Claude Chat. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people also making. Claude Chat is different. Claude Chat is like your normal Chat GPT. Think of it like that. You'll use it for that. Claude Cowork is not meant to be used as a chat. As the name suggests, Cowork, it's meant to be a co-worker, gets work done. So you will interchange between the chat and Claude Cowork. Does that make sense? No terminal experience you need to learn. So I would say don't do that. You would be better off learning Claude Cowork. But okay, then you have another problem. You do not have a Mac and Claude Cowork is not available on Windows as yet. So then maybe you'll have to go and learn Claude Code until Claude Cowork comes out for Windows. No. So what you would do, Frankie, that's a great question. Is there a way to copy skills from one account to another, or would we need to create them for each client? So this is how you will do them. So say, for example, I'm doing this on the web, right? So I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to go to capabilities. And now here's my skills, right? Now, Frankie, when you go, like, say, for example, you created this for your client, board of directors, but for X whatever client. If you click on these three dots now, can you see now? You can download it. So you'll have to download. Let me give you this example also, right? So you'll download and then upload it into their account. That makes sense, right? Now, say example, I wanted to do this. Here's my masterclass architect. I want to download it, right? So I'll download it. I'm just putting this in my downloads folder because I know I got it somewhere else. And now if I go to Manus, right? Now I go to Manus, and let me start a new conversation in Manus. Start a new conversation. And now if I click on skills, can you see skills here? I can then click on manage skills. That's one way of getting it here, right? This is one way of doing it. The other way is clicking on settings here and then going to skills here. And then here I'll click on add. And then I can build with Manus, so I'll upload a skill. So now I'm going to upload it. So I'm going to upload it. I'll click on upload. Now I save the skill here in my downloads folder. And now I've just moved a skill from Claude into Manus. There's it here. Can you see? Now, the same way I did this, you can do it for clients. Move it to their Manus, move it to their Claude. So you saw it's simple to do it. And then when ChatGPT comes out with their skills, you'll be able to move it around like that also. Take your same skill that you're using in Claude, move it to ChatGPT. Say, take the same skill using in Manus, move it to ChatGPT. Does that make sense? Right. So it was pretty simple. But now you can use your skills on the different platforms. And even now, if you're doing it for clients, you'll do it the same way. Create the skill, test it, make sure it's working. Once it's working, then you will upload it to their Claude or Manus or whatever it is. Then you might be asking for Claude Cowork. How would you move that? Right? If you asked about that question for Claude Cowork, I'm going to share something with you here, right? And if I go to documents, Riaz, I don't know if you're still here. If you are still here, when you create a Claude code folder, you know it creates a claude.md file. Anybody here use Claude and knows what's a claude.md file? Just put a Y if you do, or no, or N if you don't. Now, that's no, right, Edward? No. So think of a Claude MD file, Yusuf Dai, okay, right. Now, Riaz, I figured out something, that what was actually restricting my Claude Cowork projects was me not trying to use it like how Claude Cowork works. Because remember, it has the same brain. It's the exact same brain. They just put it in a different interface. Right? So what the Claude MD, if you create your Claude Cowork, I'll give you a real example here, right? Go to Meta Ads. Meta Ads, right? Cowork. You see an MD file, right? Now, can you see in here? I'm going to close this here, right? This is my coworker, right? In Cowork. Can you see I added in a Claude MD file? What's the Claude MD file? It's telling it everything that it needs to do. So now, when you start off your conversation, if you don't know how to create an MD file, Claude Cowork has this feature as well, right? If you type in, just tell it, ask it, tell me all all the agents that you have available in Claude Cowork. I, hopefully this will make sense in a second. So now I'm just asking, tell me all the agents that you have available in Claude Cowork. Now, hopefully, it's going to tell me all of the features that it has. Right, this is a common thing that happens a lot. Claude's workspace. But anyway, starting Claude, it failed again. Now, what I have to do every time when this happens, I have to close Claude Cowork, quit it, and then wait for it to reopen. Also, another thing to remember, right? I can see I've got two terminals working here with two Claude Code instances. Remember, it takes up lots of resources on your computer. And my machine, I've got like 18 gigs RAM, which is not a lot, but it's still okay. And sometimes it struggles. And if I do like 3 or 4 or 5 Claude Code terminals, it struggles even more. Right, but I want to show you something now, right? So I'm going to type the same thing in. Tell me all the agents that you have. So now you could, one of it'll show you is plan mode or something like that. It's called plan something. Hopefully it works now. The instructions for the skill, or the instructions for the project, or the instructions for whatever task that you're doing. Can you see there's the fourth one says plan agent. So now you could tell it, use the plan agent and create me a claude.md file or any file, whatever you can call it. Some of them call it a readme file, whatever you want to do. But you're going to start with the plan agent. Can you see it's telling us by default, these are the agents, the sub agents, they call it, that I can spawn using the task tool for different purposes. One is the bash agent, command execution specialist for running bash commands. Bash commands, my limited knowledge, I know to run OpenClaw, that's a bash command that they give you. To install Claude Code for the first time, that's a bash command that they give you. That's my limited knowledge. That's all I understand. Beyond that, I don't know what a bash command is. General purpose agent for researching complex questions, searching for code, and executing multiple step tasks. Best when you're uncertain about finding the right match quickly. Now, you know what's happening if you didn't even see this. So it's not a matter of like now I have to tell it use the general purpose agent, use the explore agent. It does it automatically in the background when you don't ask for it. Right? Okay, the bash command is the syntax for the terminal. Okay, thanks for that. Right? Explore agent, fast agent specialized for exploring code bases, can quickly find files by pattern, search code for keywords, etc. Can you see lots of this is code related? Why? Because they pulled the exact brain from Claude Code and put it in here, just that there's some features that they couldn't get to work here, so they just limited it and they're adding it as they go along. But if one of the default ones is the plan agent, so it's telling you how important that is. Does that make sense? So you start off. So if it doesn't tell you, or if it doesn't ask you, you can just tell it, start with the plan agent and or sub agent, but we'll just call it agent, and build me out a plan to grow on YouTube. I'm just using an example, right? But any project now that you're starting, you start with this plan agent. And what you want to do now in Claude Cowork, what I should have done is create a completely new folder. So you could call this YouTube growth plan. That's your folder. Because now when it's going to create this Claude.md file, right? I'll say, look at the Muhammad Asmal skill and find out everything about me from there. Right, I'll skip all of this. What do I want? Lead generation. Let's say lead generation. How much time can you dedicate to thing? And now it goes and works in the plan. But if I didn't add a folder to it, but if I had a folder to it, everything that it gives me now after that, like see, it's using the skills, right? But every document that is going to create after that, it will automatically add it to that folder that I just created. Does that make sense? Now, I did this without creating a folder. Right. So, but now can you see it didn't understand? So I'm going to stop this here. So I'm going to say I want you to use the plan sub agent, and let's plan this out before you go and do anything. I just want an outline, and use the plan sub agent to create me a readme file or a claude.md file that we can add to this project. Right. So I just want to show you an example now. It got nowhere to send it to, but it will go ahead and create that file for us. See, got it. Let me use the plan agent to create a strategic outline document for your YouTube growth plan. Does that make sense? And then you start from that. But what we're doing, we're using it wrong. We want to immediately go into the work it needs to do. But if you give it like, see, it has a brain, but then you give it now a structure of planning out this entire thing. And this you only need to do once. After that, you may need to iterate, but you only need to do like that Claude MD file or the README file, whatever you want to call it. You only need to do that once. Thereafter, it understands everything. So the next time you run it, you don't need to do this. The next time you can just carry on from here, and it automatically knows what its whole process needs to, what it needs to do. So start off with this. Start off in plan mode. So even for you, Riyadh, let me show you in the terminal. If let me start off a new terminal. Yeah. Let's say I'll just start a blank one. If I just start this, it might start battling because I've got 3 instances working. Okay, right. And now if I type in the slash and if I go to plan, can you see here the second option there is plan? Enable plan mode or view the current session plan. Now, can you see it says plan mode on? Now, whatever you're going to do is just going to be in plan mode. So that's why I said once you use it like this, you'll also save credits because now it's firstly going to plan before it goes and executes. So whenever you're doing something, start it off in plan mode, especially if it's going to be, or you're thinking of doing a very intensive task. Make sense? Another thing I found is, another thing I found is like, you get a resume, right? Resume is supposed to show you all your past conversations. I got one conversation that I can't find. I had it, I put it in a group where I send you all the screenshots of it was doing that SEO work, etc. I can't find that conversation. Like I want to show you all now. I was trying to do it yesterday. I just can't find that conversation. Let me try and terminate this and terminate this. And let's see if I can actually show that. Where did I did it? I think I did it in this folder. So now these are things that I said because I'm not technical enough. I won't know where to find it. And then it takes me too long to go and figure stuff like this out. So that's why, for me, it doesn't make sense to use Claude Code too much. I use it for what it works, right? That's great. But as soon as I see now it starts doing strange things, no, task notifications. Yeah, it's gone. I don't know where's that. I don't know where's that conversation. Right, a blog post, task notification. What? Fix my site. Oh, there it is. Maybe it's this one. Let's see. Maybe it's this one. Oh, there, I found it. Right, yesterday I couldn't find it, but yeah, I found it. So you remember I showed you all. No, this is not it. This is the wrong one. Okay, this is the wrong one. It's not the one that I'm looking for. So I don't know where that conversation is gone to. Remotion skills. I don't know. Okay, so now see things like that. Now I don't know where to find it. It makes my life difficult, and then I get frustrated. And because I'm not too familiar with the terminal, etc., that's why I become even more frustrated. So that's why I want to concentrate more on Claude Cowork, because I have more control over it. I know what it does, what it can do, and if there's a problem, I know how to fix it. But that's just my reasoning. But if you're familiar with the terminal, you're familiar with working like that, then that will be better. Okay, guys. Any last questions? I know I've been saying this for 45 minutes now. Last question. But if you got anything, let me know. Okay, so I don't think we got any questions. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining. And I'll see you again on the live next week. Or for those of you in my community, I'll see you all on Wednesday. And for anyone that wants to join my community or wants to join my coaching program, I'm going to add it into the chat now. Okay, my pleasure. You're welcome, Riaz. You the star. You are the star, Frankie. Okay, guys. Take care. Chat soon. Have a great weekend and take action. Never been a better time to be in business, honestly. Take care, bye, guys. Bye.